Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and welcome to a special edition of Asian and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. And I'm here today to talk to you about Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue Chosen Path. So, this is a Chad centered episode, and Chad was really cool. He was just this really, all around pleasant type guy. When he was recruited into Lightspeed Rescue, I think he swam with like fish and dolphins and stuff like that. He was one of those type of people who worked with aquatic life and took care of them and stuff like that. And they wanted him because of his swimming background. But it turns out he's actually extremely good at martial arts. And so when him and the other rangers are like training and stuff, a man comes and talks to him, and he's really upset with Chad. This is Master Tamashiro, and he is Chad's former martial arts instructor. And he is very, very disappointed in Chad because, Chad gave up martial arts and became a Power Ranger. Well, Chad didn't give up martial arts to become a Power Ranger. He gave up martial arts to swim with ocean life and stuff. But he never mentioned that for some bizarre reason. And when it comes to Chad, job that he had before Lightspeed Rescue, that's never really mentioned, but we see it every once in a while, like with the mermaid episode and in the finale episode. But other than that, that's rarely ever brought up. And it's kind of the same thing with like Kelsey and everything. Like we never see her her climbing rocks that much, or her talking about what she did before Lightspeed Rescue. So that was always one downer of this show. It would have been nice for them to keep like bringing it up, or them talking about how they missed their former life, or something like that. And this episode is heavily based on the Sentai. And so there's a monster. See, the bad guys here are demons and stuff. And they're having dinner in one episode, which is just kind of interesting. All they do in this episode is just have dinner. And that's it. And they're eating rats and this and that. And so, like, the main dude's pissed that they haven't created a monster. And so he has this one Cyclops dude who's like this champion competitor type person, and he takes on the Rangers. And so Sensei is really pissed at Chad because he's talking about you could have been the world's greatest martial artist, but instead you chose this like dumb path and everything, which is not only insulting to Chad but insulting to the Power Rangers because they chose to be Power Rangers as well. But I don't think he knows that they're Power Rangers. And so this really gets to Chad. That really, really upsets him and stuff. And it starts to question if he chose the right one. And him and Kelsey, they're like buds. Him and Joel, they're pretty good like best friends as well. But him and Kelsey, man, there was just something always to that dynamic of those two. They always looked out for each other, always had each other's back and everything, more than him and Joel, because Joel was always trying to get with Miss Mayweather and stuff. And so we see Kelsey, she tries to talk to him, the sensei dude. And he just not having it. Like he just feels Chad's life is martial arts. Like his life, like the sensei, that's all he does is like martial arts 24/7. And Kelsey, man, she did something so unexpected. She like stuck her tongue out and rasped him and everything, like a juvenile. But that just shows her playful nature and stuff. Well, anyways, the monster attacks and he attacks a shrine. And when the Rangers go to fight him, it's funny because a cat runs by like the monster, and that's in the Sentai. I don't know if that was on purpose or it was just a random cat that just showed up on set and just ran across and stuff. But the Rangers don't even fight him. Like Carter just like blast him and everything. And the monster's all like, "Oh man, that's like not fair. Like, you shot me and everything." And so Sensei is there. And he fights the monster and whoops his behind. The monster runs off. And so like at some point in time in the episode, the monster goes to Sensei and wants to be trained by him. But Sensei's all like, "I can't train you. You're a monster," and everything like that. But then the monster, of course, lies and is all like, "I've changed my ways and like I'm a good guy," and all this other stuff. And so to put the icing on the cake, one of the generals attacks the monster only for him to like, pretend like he's on the good side and stuff. Now, I still don't understand what would possess the sensei to want to teach the monster, knowing that he can't really be trusted, but he does it anyway. And he teaches him everything he knows, making this like monster the greatest like fighter there is. And so when Chad sees this, he thinks that the monster is trying to attack Sensei. And he goes to attack the monster, and the monster whoops Chad's butt. Only for the Sensei to be happy and is all like, "I found like a student who like is dedicated to like the martial arts and everything like that." And I'm just thinking to myself, dude, he's a monster. What in the world? And not only that, but these monsters are demons and stuff. I just don't understand it. Well, of course, when Sensei's done training him, he's all like, "I have nothing left to teach you because, I've taught you everything." So the monster, of course, double crosses him like, "Well, I don't need you no more," and just like whoops his behind. And so then the monster goes on a path of destruction. Duh. So anyway, Chad finds the Sensei at one point, and Sensei tells him what happened. And the Sensei now feels like a foolish old man, like, because he knew deep down inside he should never have done it. And so like when the Rangers go to fight the monster, of course, they know they're no match for this dude. But Chad shows up and he lets that monster know, unmorphed by the way, like, you met your match. Because, Chad's been trained by the greatest martial artist there is, and of course that's Sensei. And we get a beautiful, amazing, like, fight between Chad and the monster. And Chad's fighting the monster demorphed. And, the actor never looked more manly, man. Like, he was just whooping on that dude. Now, I remember the actor who plays Chad. I remember when I first saw him. I believe it was called WCMA, I believe. I think it might have stood for World Champion Martial Arts or something like that. It was like this weird scripted, like martial arts type fantasy MMA type thing. It was really cool. You can find it on the internet. I can't remember its name. I put it in the link below. And so he just whoops on this monster. And the dude's so skilled, man. He's like light as a feather. And what's interesting is that the actor has now went on to train future Power Rangers in like, the newer seasons and stuff. I believe his son tried out but didn't make it, which is sad, And so, like, after he whoops on the monster, he later morphs, and then he calls on his V-Lancer, because he wants more of this monster. And so, like, I love the V-Lancers, man. He's so, like, I guess it was the stunt choreographer, or the stunt actor, because, normally when they morph, then it's the stunt people. I hope it's the actual dude who plays Chad. That would have been cool. But he whooped on him with the V-Lancer. Speaking of which, where is that in the Lightning figure? Like, Chad's about to come out later this year. And not only did they give him a goofy smirk, like, on his toy when he smiles and everything, but he really doesn't have no weapons. He has his blaster, and I think his blaster in sword mode, and that's it. He didn't get no V-Lancer. He didn't get no Mega Battle Booster. He didn't get nothing. He didn't even get his like Vector Cycle. I think that's what it's called. I can't remember. Whatever, the Lightspeed cycles and stuff. I'm just like, man, what is up with the Lightning collection? They're giving us less and less sometimes, and then sometimes they give us more. But it's like, it's kind of like the whole Maya situation. Where are her trans daggers? Where's her saber in full mode? It's like they're cheating us, man, but they're bumping up the price, and I don't appreciate that whatsoever. Because I want to start collecting more that I like, and if they don't give me stuff that I like, or if the paint is wrong, I'm not buying it because I don't want to pay close to $30 and I barely get anything. I mean, you might as well pay 50 for the Super 7 and you get a whole lot of stuff. And I mean a whole lot of stuff. And so, they whoop on the monster, or he whoops on the monster goes big. They call on the Zords and they dismantle him very quickly. And so now when Chad's in his room, like reminiscing about his martial arts days and his trophies he got, the sensei pays him a visit. See, early in the episode, Chad invited him to the Aqua base, but the sensei refused. And so now he took him up on his offer to take a tour around it and stuff and see what Chad has been up to and stuff. And then he gets greeted by Captain Mitchell and Miss Mayweather. But it's funny, the sensei is kind of like, did you know that Chad's the blue Power Ranger? And of course they know because they work with the dude. And technically everybody should know because in this season, everybody knows the identity of the Power Rangers. They don't make it a secret. And they're the first to do that. And I assume that's how Sensei found Chad, because when they was training out in the woods, he just found him out of like, the blue and stuff. Out the blue, and Chad's the Blue Ranger. Happy Asian and Pacific Islander month, everybody. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.